Just a couple of notes on these tables above here, and some of these are redundant. I've already mentioned some of them, so just go with me here. Repetition is always a good thing. GetMember must receive output from something else. By itself, it doesn't mean anything. GetMember, and I get an error. Well, I must specify an object for the GetMember command. So something like getService, GetMember, that works because it sees that there's an object here and tells me about that object. GM is an alias. We already mentioned that. Multiple object types. So notice up here, this is a get command GetMember, and you notice that I have multiple object types: alias info, function info, commandlet info. Well, let's look at the get command commandlet. When I run this, you'll notice there's functions, there's commandlets, there's aliases. So there are all sorts of objects, functions, aliases. So there are three types of objects. There are aliases, functions, and commandlets. So because it's actually producing output of three object types, it's giving me information about all three of those object types. So let's do the get command, pipe that to GM, and now you can see I only have I've taken a lot of this stuff out over here, but I have the properties and methods for these three types, the function infos, alias info, and commandlet info. There are alias properties. So for example, handles, we mentioned, is an alias for handle count property. All right. We saw some of those, not with this one, we saw them with the what was it, the get process, I believe it was. I don't remember now. Property types. Some entries may call out properties as script property, note property, and so on. We've mentioned that already. Here's a script property here. Here's just properties. There are alias properties. So we're going to treat those all as properties just like any other in this class. Other member types. You may notice that there are other member types, such as events in table 1. So every once in a while you'll see up here, for example, event types. And we are not going to deal with those in this class. That's a little bit beyond the scope of this class. That's a little bit more advanced class, so we won't deal with those here. And then finally, changing properties. Can properties be changed? Yes, some can be, and some cannot be directly changed. So it all depends on the property. There are ways to deal with these, and again, it's more of an advanced technique, and we are not going to go into them here, except that some properties we can change by direct manipulation with commandlets. So in that case, we can. All right, next we're going to look at sorting objects.